Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Out in the open, the full preliminary report as well as hallway and body camera footage from inside Robb Elementary has now been released.
But the shooting victims' families are telling their state senator, Roland Gutierrez, this isn't enough. Gutierrez tells Courtney Friedman what they still need to see in order to feel like people are being held accountable.
Dude, we gotta get in there. We gotta get in there. He just keeps shooting.
But no one did go in for 73 minutes. This body cam video from inside Robb Elementary shows the urgency in the beginning when officers got to the scene. But that urgency faded. A new report calling the officers inside lackadaisical.
Well, the ranger said that he has a pair of keys, but I don't know. They said they were testing them.
State Senator Roland Gutierrez is keying in on those rangers and the whole state response.
Families in my district expect to know who is responsible for their inaction.
He's suing the Texas Department of Public Safety for not releasing requested information on the shooting response.
If we're talking about a school cop that's in charge for breaking up cafeteria school fight, is the guy in charge? Then we've got a real problem in Texas. Because we had 91 state troopers there, 91. We had over 140 federal officers.
Now the preliminary report and the video have been released.
Does that suffice for your request?
No, not at all. We asked where DPS troopers were situated, when they arrived, where they went, who ordered them. None of that is in this report.
He has a court hearing scheduled for August 4th when he says he'll ask for more details about who knew what.
We see a Texas Ranger walking around for 20 minutes. He's followed by a game warden. He's the guy with the tablet that's the schematic of the school. Both of those guys are talking to somebody. I need to know who they were talking to, who was calling the shots over there for the Department of Public Safety, and why it is they just didn't do anything either.
Grieving, angry families looking for more than answers. They want accountability. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Today, Governor Greg Abbott released a statement about the Texas House findings, saying in part, quote, with multiple investigations still ongoing, we will begin working with the legislature to develop and implement the necessary changes, end quote. State Senator Gutierrez has requested a special session to increase the age limit for buying assault rifles in the state. And in a separate statement, Abbott said all options are still on the table and more announcements are expected. Today, the Department of Public Safety announced an internal review into the response to that deadly shooting in Uvalde.
And we have the special committee's report along with the video that the families were shown yesterday on our website right now at KSAT.com. That's where you can see that full report or just select parts embedded in the article. You can also see clips of security and body camera video from May 24th. It's on KSAT.com and on the KSAT app.
Meanwhile, happening right now, a special Uvalde school board meeting focusing on safety. Parents and community members having the chance to ask the district questions about safety and security. A big topic given the safety failures unveiled by the Texas House Committee investigating the shooting. Our Lee Waldman is there, where meetings in the past have gotten heated between families and school officials.
And most city council meetings, and even in the meeting Sunday with the House Committee, there always seems to be a tipping point when it comes to accountability and what comes next. The district hoped to answer some of those questions last week when releasing a plan to harden school infrastructure and increase security on campus. We've seen many families demanding more accountability be had for the law enforcement that was inside the school on May 24th. Mayor of Uvalde, Don McLaughlin, has been repeatedly asked to hold Uvalde CISD police officers and Chief Pete Arredondo accountable and remove them from the force. He stated again and again it's not his jurisdiction. It falls in the hands of the school board.
Still my same message, and they asked us to go to that council meeting, and I'll be there tomorrow night at that school board meeting.
Another point brought up in that committee report, not every teacher received that lockdown notice. We'll see if that's another point addressed today during this meeting. Tonight on the Nightbeat, we're going to wrap up what happens at this safety-focused school board meeting. In Uvalde, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
New at 6, a lot of parents have had to deal with this lately. How to talk to our kids about what's going on in the world, especially that mass shooting in Uvalde. The city of San Antonio is hosting a series of free seminars this week with the hopes of helping parents communicate with their children. RJ Marquez with what to expect.
Weeks after the Uvalde shooting, many parents or guardians may be struggling to talk to their kids about what happened.
No child is born with an instruction manual. There's no book you get at the hospital that says this is what you do in all these different situations.
San Antonio city officials want to help parents bridge the communication gap with their kids after a tragic event.
Parents are always looking for more information about how to build resilience. Even before, the shooting in Uvalde, there were kiddos losing their loved ones to COVID.
Metro Health is offering a free 2-hour seminar this week called After the Tragedy. It's part of the city's P Positive Parenting program.
To, navigate those hard conversations, resolve their kiddos' distress, and also be able to identify what grieving can look like in children.
Bria Moore with P says trained counselors will run the seminars and answer parents' questions.
It helps with social skill development, emotional skill development, but also it creates, if a parent is able to create a positive learning environment, then their child is better able to develop other skills.
With many kids returning to school soon, Moore says now is a good time to have these tough conversations.
So that parents can feel confident and they can feel safe being able to have these conversations with their children as kiddos are back in school, just to keep that open line of communications.
The free seminars are virtual and will both run from 6 to 8 p.m. The first one will be held tomorrow in English and the second one in Spanish on Wednesday, and you can register on the City of San Antonio's website. All you need to do is go to the P Parenting Program page. RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Medina Valley ISD is without an athletic director as they prepare for the fall season now. That's after the resignation of Lee Crisp. The KSAT 12 defenders confirmed that news today. Crisp also served as the head football coach. District officials received a letter of resignation from Crisp on Friday, but no other details provided. Crisp has had a history of allegations of erratic behavior and favoritism. The resignation comes shortly after the district reopened an investigation into his behavior, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. Dozens of parents signed a letter given to a school board member stating that Crisp allegedly was drinking during school hours and putting students' safety at risk. In a defender's investigation back in 2019, it was revealed that Crisp was promoted to athletic director despite previously failing a state drug screening.
What you're watching is Dilley police officers deploying spike strips this morning to stop suspected human smugglers fleeing from authorities. It was caught on the officers' body cam footage and posted on the department's Facebook page. When officers were notified about the pursuit in LaSalle County, 2 Dilley police officers set out spike strips to try to stop that pursuit. And officials say that the spike deployment was successful, deflating the tires, but that only slowed down the suspect vehicle before it then hit an 18-wheeler. 7 suspected migrants in the vehicle were injured. A little later in the day, Dilley police helped bring a stop to another pursuit. This one was headed into Dilley, the pursuit by Dimmitt County deputies. Officers were able to help bring that one to an end before any accidents or injuries. Throughout the last few weeks, Eagle Pass has become the epicenter of illicit crossings and apprehensions at the border. According to the Del Rio Border Patrol office, groups of 300 to 500 have become the norm there. Once migrants cross into the U.S. territory, many surrender to authorities and are processed by Border Patrol agents. But during her latest visit to Eagle Pass, Alicia Barrera came face to face with one of the guides helping these migrants cross the river. Which brings light the next question. What happens to the smugglers when they're caught? The answer may shock you.
Their understanding of this natural barrier is as wide and vast as the Rio Grande.
In this area right here, the people on the Mike side or Mexico call it El Tenedor del Diablo, the devil's fork, because a lot of people drown.
They're part of the boat patrol for Border Patrol's Eagle Pass office and are in charge of keeping a close eye on the traffic patterns of illegal crossings.
Those people that are right here on this side, they're gonna cross. They're just waiting for us to leave.
Orlando Fuentes is the boat patrol supervisor, and across from his boat is a Mexican rescue team helping deter the group.
All they can do is shoo them away.
Yes.
But they can come back and try again.
Yes, but right now they're telling them that the military is on their way. That's why they're running.
Yet others, like this group of 5, wade the waters.
That's the guide, right? Yeah.
What we just witnessed is a group crossover, but the focus now shifts to this man here, the guide.
The young man takes his glasses off to make eye contact with the agents and remains calm as he trudges back to Mexico, where that same Mexican rescue boat approaches.
What happens to them?
According to CBP, the guide or smuggler could not be detained on the U.S. side in order to not risk the safety of the agents, allowing him to eventually disappear into the brush in Mexico until the next trip.
That's Mexico. This is like the imaginary land.
Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
And by the way, that rescue boat that you saw on the Mexican side has no authority to detain a person, including that smuggler. That duty rests on the Mexican military or local Piedras Negras police. However, no patrols were seen nearby when all this went down.
Let's take a look outside right now at traffic at this point. This is the camera I-10 at Frio. Just a few moments ago, traffic was backed up pretty heavily here because of an accident or either a stalled vehicle, but that has cleared in the last few minutes, and it looks like traffic is now moving again here at I-10 and Frio.
The KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022 now just 40 days away, but it's never too early to get your tickets for this major high school football event.
And we've made it pretty easy for you, right? Thanks to our partnership with Las Palapas Restaurants. With more, let's take you live to our Greg Simmons on the north side of town at where else? Las Palapas. Hey, Greg.
And you know what? We're smart enough to get into the patio here so we don't have to stand out in the sun. We're at the Las Palapas at TPC Parkway, just down the street from 281, right across the street from Johnson High School. And this is for the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealers. And the tickets for this event are only $15. It's $15 for 3 games. A lot easier to buy them here at Las Palapas than either to wait for school to open or drive all the way down to the Alamo Dome. And here's what you're getting for that one ticket. 3 games, 1 day, August the 27th, Saturday, inside the Alamo Dome, where it's going to be a nice 74 degrees. It'll be Smithson Valley against Reagan in the first game at 11:30. Second game is going to be Judson against Johnson. That's at 3:30. The third game at 7:30 will be Steele against Brennan. And now, by the way, you can also be a part of the KSAT Insiders, where you get special privileges, or you can even purchase a suite. It all happens on that day. And if you're the first 50 people out here at this Las Palapas location on TPC Parkway, we'll give you a free coupon for either an enchilada plate or flauta special, and this free T-shirt right here that goes along with the big event on Saturday, August the 27th. We'll have more coming up in sports. Live from Las Palapas, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
Just think about it. 5 touchdowns, a field goal, and a safety away. That's how close we are, 40 days.
So true. I'm just thinking of tacos right now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that. The food sounds pretty good, too. Yeah,
it does. You notice a little bit of haze in the sky today. Not as bad as what we had yesterday. Yesterday, the African dust was the thickest and most noticeable. It's gradually dissipating and moving out of town, so that's some good news. But we're all feeling the heat all across the state. Look at Dallas and Abilene. High temperatures today, 109. Austin 102, Junction 103, Del Rio 104. Here in San Antonio 101, but Cotulla got up to 107. That's the hot spot on our map today. Some parts of the hill country topped out in the upper 90s, Kerrville and Fredericksburg at 99 degrees. Right now, a lot of sunshine, 100 even. By 8 o'clock, mid-90s, 10 o'clock, right near 90, and we'll start the day tomorrow in the mid-70s. But we are likely to move up in the temperature rankings later this week. We're going to tell you more about that and how many 100 degrees days we're at so far this year in just a bit, Myra.
All right, thanks, Adam. Really hard to think about snow right now, but after that massive power failure during the February 2021 winter storm, there has been a big focus on power sources in the state of Texas, the pros and the cons, the advantages and disadvantages. When it comes to renewables, solar power is gaining some steam.
It gives me the advantage of not worrying about what the price of gas is because I drive on sunshine.
So how does it work? And is harnessing the power of the sun as easy as it might sound? Coming up during KSAT Explains, we break down solar power, the things to consider about this energy source, and what options that CPS Energy provides. That's coming up at 6:30.
Welcome back. I'm Stefania Jimenez, and tonight on the Nightbeat, a brother's frustration after waiting almost 4 years for answers about his sister's death.
We all thought, it'd be a few more months. maybe a year tops.
Deadly apartment fire in San Marcos. What one man is doing now to make sure that he gets justice for his sister and the other victims. We'll see you for that story and a lot more tonight on the Nightbeat.
Thank you, Stephanie. Let's take a look outside with Sky 12 flying over the splash pad here at the Pearl. Got some good trees out there and, importantly, water and shade.
I'm guessing that's a very popular spot when it's 100 plus, which it will be all this week.
Yeah.
Just like it was much of last week.
Where
Adam
are
Caskey.
we at this point?
We're going to jump right into it. We're at 39 100-degree days. Yes, and take a look at our forecast. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid here. 103 is what we're expecting tomorrow, 104 on Wednesday, and our 7-day forecast keeps us above 100 degrees for the foreseeable future here. And also daily record high temperatures are likely Wednesday and Thursday as we get to 104, 103. The records respectively 101 and 102. So let's go to the count. So far this year, we are at 39. And the key words here, so far this year, we're at 39. That puts us very close to the top 3 rankings for 100-degree days in a given year. Our records go back to about 1885, and the most we've ever had is 59. That was back in 2009. But look at third place, 41 100-degree days. That was in 2013. 2022 is likely to have that third place by Thursday. That's what we're expecting. So we're expecting to move up in the rankings here by Thursday, and we'll be likely to update that graphic and, of course, let you know. But 100 even right now, dew point of 58. The key is the humidity drops a bit in the afternoon. The dew point drops because the drier air aloft mixes downward, and that helps us a little bit. But Cotulla's at 107. Uvalde, Hondo, 101, along with Gonzales, Kennedy, 99 right now, Bernie, 95, 95 Canyon Lake. Obviously, a few exceptions to the triple digits farther to the north of San Antonio, and even Kerrville Comfort, a little bit higher up in the upper 90s. Dew points, though, not all that bad. I mean, for the most part, we're in the 50s, and that's nice, at least, when you have this intensity. It keeps the heat index during these hot hours of the day within check, so it really doesn't add on to the feels like factor, and that's going to be the case again tomorrow. So the humidity rises at night, it gets sticky, dew points low 70s tonight through tomorrow morning, and then as the heat of the day really hits us, that drier air mixes in, and you see the dew point trend here. We're down into the upper 50s for dew points tomorrow afternoon during the hottest part of day. Now, it takes humidity to make rain. I'd love to have that humidity and other ingredients to make rain. We just don't have any of the ingredients to make rain, unfortunately. So our drought monitor, of course, still shows the exceptional and extreme drought across San Antonio, Bexar County, and surrounding communities, and 94% of Texas is now considered in drought. If you think back a few months ago when we were showing you this, parts of far east Texas, they weren't even in a drought. Now they're starting to fall into the drought conditions as well. So here's the big picture. The upper level high, the big blue H, it's not directly over us. It's not right overhead. In turn, we have this northerly flow because of the clockwise motion around high pressure systems in the northern hemisphere. And that clockwise flow aloft gives us a steering wind coming down the plains, and the doors open. If we could drum up a good disturbance here to then get pushed southward, unfortunately, there's no disturbances to move in, and we don't have the moisture to work with anyway, unfortunately. Actually, tomorrow's a little disturbance coming in, and no moisture to work with. So unfortunately, not looking good in terms of rain. Then we shift to the tropics. That can be a good source of drought denting and sometimes drought breaking rain. But it's quiet across the Atlantic basin. No development expected over the next 5 days. Not even a swirl out there to maybe develop and get going. 78 in the morning tomorrow. By noon, already up to 93. Nothing but sunshine. Another hot day. It's more of the same. 103 the high temperature, about 4 or 5 p.m. And nothing but sunshine. I mean, I wish I could put one of those 10 to 20% chances on there like we have in weeks past. No, it's just sunshine the whole time.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
All right, Greg, I'm not going to kid around. It's dinner time. I'd like puffy tacos, cheese enchiladas, and a side of football, please.
A side of football is what you will have as well, because that's why we're at Las Palapas. We're going to be here, by the way, also in August to get you ready for the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealers. And this is where you can buy tickets. When we come back, we'll tell you more about that. Also, when you come back, hard to believe it's time to get ready to go camping with KSAT in California. Coming up. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to Las Palapas here on TPC Parkway. We're just down the street from Highway 281, right across the street from Johnson High School. In a moment, we're going to tell you how you can purchase tickets to the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealer. But first,
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
it's hard to believe that 1 week from today we'll be live in California as the Dallas Cowboys kick off their 2022 training camp in Oxnard. After being ousted in the first round of the NFL playoffs by the San Francisco 49ers, the Cowboys are looking to build on their regular season success that saw them finish 12-5 and win the NFC East. And expectations are much higher this year with a truly healthy Dak Prescott, with no restriction on him following the worst injury of his football career in 2020 when he suffered a compound fracture and dislocation of his right ankle. And Ezekiel Elliott will also be 100% after he battled a nagging right knee injury that resulted in a partially torn posterior cruciate ligament in his right knee over the last 3 months of the season, and still rushed for over 1,000 yards for the fourth time in his career as a Cowboy. Here's a look at some key dates. Starts with the players reporting on the 25th, followed by the State of the Cowboys address on the 26th, first practice the 27th, opening ceremonies the 30th, and Jerry Jones live on Instant Replay on July 31st. The Houston Texans are looking for a fresh start when they kick off their 2022 training camp at the Texans training facility in Houston. A brand new coach in Lovie Smith, who was promoted from defensive coordinator after David Culley was fired after just one season. With back-to-back 4-win seasons, the only way is up for Houston, and now without the distractions of Sean Watson, who was traded to the Cleveland Browns along with his off-field drama. One of the first-round picks will be keeping an eye on camp will be Aggies offensive lineman Kenyon Green, who went number 15 overall thanks to the Watson trade benefits. Green will be key in rebuilding the Texans offensive line to protect Davis Mills, who's starting his second season at quarterback. Key dates for the Texans training camp opens on July 29th. This is at their training facility in Houston, followed by Battle Red Day on the 30th. 31st is a Players' Day off, so you don't drive all the way to Houston to see him. And August the 10th is the last practice. Congratulations to the UTSA Runner Star quarterback. Frank Harris has been named to the Maxwell Watch List, which was announced today. The senior from Schertz Clemens High School is one of 85 FBS players on the Maxwell Award Watch List, which is presented to the outstanding player in college football. Harris enters the season with a 20-8 record as a starter, throwing for 5,293 yards, 42 touchdowns with a completion record of 66%, rushed for an additional 1,220 yards, 15 touchdowns as a road runner. And last year got at UTSA to their most successful season. Their Roadrunner football record was 12-2, best in their football history, and their first ever Conference USA championship. And the University of Texas has two of their most talented players also on the Maxwell Award watch list. Running back Bijan Robinson, sophomore wide receiver Xavier Worthy. Robinson is a third-year running back with over 1,800 yards rushing for 15 touchdowns, caught an additional 6 touchdowns, was named to the first team All-Big 12. Worthy was named the Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year following his record-breaking 62 catches for 981 yards, 12 receiving touchdowns. As a result, he became the first freshman wide receiver in UT history, I should say, to make the All-Big 12 team. Now, if you're one of the first 50 people out here, should say 50 players, get suited up, you'll get this. You'll get a free coupon for an enchilada plate or a flauta special, and this cool T-shirt, kind of to commemorate the big event we have for you on August the 27th right there. It is the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealers. Live from Las Palapas, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
Very excited about what's coming our way in August. Thank you, Greg.
Right around the corner. All right, also right around the corner when we come back, KSAT explains, and we are talking solar power. Stay with us. Renewable energy, clean energy, lowering our carbon footprint, all topics getting a lot more attention these days, and a big source is solar.
Solar energy systems are certainly not cheap, but the average homeowner could save thousands over the lifetime of their system. But are those savings enough to make a switch?
In this episode of KSAT Explains, Dylan Collins looks at how solar power works as well as the pros and cons of making the investment.
If there's one thing we have plenty of during South Texas summer, it's sunshine. And these days, those rays aren't just for natural light. They can power this kind too, but the technology that turns natural light into artificial light and electricity has not always been available. In fact, it's fairly new and still being developed. So let's start from the beginning. Humans have been harnessing solar energy since the 7th century BC by using sunlight and magnifying devices to start fires. Centuries later, in the early 1950s, scientists created the first silicone photovoltaic cell. That's basically the technical name of a modern-day solar panel. And it was discovered by accident.
They were researching the properties of silicon semiconductors, and they found that when certain impurities were added to the silicon, it generated a strong electric current when exposed to sun.
So how can energy from a giant star millions of miles away go into a piece of silicone and charge this or your entire home?
Think back to your high school physics class. Heat represents energy. The sun produces heat and light. The solar panel generates electricity when exposed to that heat and light through what is called the photovoltaic effect. So that's how the solar panel itself works, but what about the whole solar energy system that's installed in your house?
The silicon in these panels are stripping off electrons from the UV rays. They put them all together and send them as a current to this box. So this is an inverter. It's taking the direct current and it's inverting it into an alternating current. The power that you use inside your home or your business is alternating current.
From there, the power goes down a long stretch of wires and into an electrical box. The smart meter uses 100% of that solar power first, and if more energy is needed, the meter will pull more electricity from the energy company.
If it has too much solar production, it sends it to the grid and CPS buys it.
So now that you know how it works, how do you know if solar is the right option for you? A company called Big Sun Solar here in San Antonio partners with CPS Energy. They say customers usually have some or all of these goals in mind when choosing solar. First, they hope to lower the utility bill. They're also concerned about the environment and want to lower the carbon footprint, and they're just interested in the new technology.
I have 2 electric cars, and in addition, we see electric bills going up and up, and so it seemed like a good idea to look into it.
In San Antonio, CPS customers have a few options. They can tap into what's called community solar, they can use rooftop solar, or they can choose both. The more conventional way is to just have solar panels installed on your roof, but
not everyone has access to a roof though, right? Some people rent, some people live in apartments, some people have beautiful shade trees.
That's where community solar comes in. It's a program unique to CPS customers, giving them the option to purchase solar panels that are kept in secondary locations, like solar farms and on top of more than 100 parking facilities around the city.
Just like rooftop solar, just like solar ownership, except you're putting it somewhere else.
The power produced from those panels is then sent to CPS, and the solar customer sees the benefits in the form of a credit added to their monthly bill. For example, if your family uses $30 worth of energy during the month, but your solar system produced $20 worth of energy, you only have to pay the difference of $10 on your CPS bill. That means your solar system saved you $20 that month.
If you're like Dr. Raj Narayan, who lives here in San Antonio, you can have both rooftop and community solar.
It's, been quite rewarding.
But it wasn't an easy decision for Dr. Narayan.
I did have to study it for a long time.
In 2018, when Dr. Narayan began his solar journey, the price of solar energy was around $3 per watt. Over the years, that price has gone down significantly, but due to the recent supply chain issues, that price has returned to around $3. After federal tax grants and rebates, you can expect to pay about $2 per watt. And while $2 doesn't sound like a lot,
the initial investment cost,
a large upfront cost.
It has this high upfront cost.
The numbers add up pretty quickly. The average 8-kilowatt residential system should cost around $25,000 before rebates or tax incentives. For Dr. Narayan's house,
and it was $30,000 for community solar and $10,000 for rooftops. So I'm out $40 total.
The other cons?
The sun doesn't shine at night, so you need to stay connected to the grid. Another con is that it needs maintenance. So you don't put it up here and then forget about it.
The bottom line is, solar energy right now is an investment that needs planning for most families. A tip, you can start small. Invest in a small system at first and then add on to it as it makes sense. For Dr. Narayan, the long-term benefits simply outweighed the price.
It gives me the advantage of not worrying what CPS is going to do with electricity rates. It gives me the advantage of not worrying about what the price of gas is, because I drive on sunshine.
But with a high upfront cost, how and when could you start seeing those benefits? Well, the upfront answer is almost immediately. Customers will start seeing their electric bill decrease once their solar system kicks in.
My net cost for electricity and power in general to both power my house during that 6-month period of time and drive my electric vehicles 140 miles a day between myself and my family was only about $53 a month.
But breaking even on your investment is a different story.
My break-even time period for my solar panels on my roof will be on the order of between 6 and 7 years. Once it pays back, you essentially are getting power for free.
As solar technology continues to grow, what can we expect in the future?
It's a very promising future. I'm very optimistic on that.
Will there ever be a day that we can completely rely on solar energy and disconnect from the grid? Experts say it's feasible, but not very practical right now.
If it is completely cloudy for 2 weeks straight and the solar is not able to charge your battery enough, even if you spent a lot of money on a system, you could still have periods of time without the ability to have power.
Power storage is also very costly.
The price for lithium-ion batteries, which is arguably the leading energy storage technology, has remained too cost prohibitive. So the research community is exploring other alternatives, including flow batteries.
Flow batteries are basically giant rechargeable batteries. In theory, there would be farms of these used to store enough solar energy over time to power an entire city. But that's still just a theory.
Environmental experts say San Antonio could be carbon neutral by 2050.
The Environment Texas Research and Policy Center ranked San Antonio #1 in Texas and #5 in the nation for solar energy.
On KSAT.com right now, we also have tips on how to keep your home cooler and use less energy. If you scan the QR code you see right here, it will take you straight to the KSAT Explains page, where you can watch any episode we have done on a wide range of topics, including this one. I'll be right back.
Played a super rare orange lobster heading to a new home. Cheddar, it's the name of the lobster, was in a shipment sent to a Red Lobster in Hollywood, Florida, but the staff noticed his unusual and rare color.
Well, they then contacted Ripley's Aquarium in Myrtle Beach, which is now taking Cheddar. The lucky orange lobster will acclimate at the scientific research facility before officially moving to the aquarium. According to Ripley's, the chance of finding an orange lobster is 1 in 30 million.
Good decision by the Red Lobster there.
Oh, Cheddar.
Yeah, live look outside, 100 degrees. It is hot, and we are just stuck in this pattern, it seems like, Adam Caskey.
Yeah, and you know, the dry ground doesn't help us out. When you have drought, typically you have hotter temperatures as well, because the sun heats the ground, which then radiates that warmth and heats the air. And it's going to remain dry. 100 right now, 8 o'clock 96, 10 o'clock 90 degrees. By midnight we'll be in the mid 80s. Luckily there will be a noticeable breeze kicking up here over the next couple of hours, about 10 to 20 miles per hour out of the southeast. We're going to talk about the hottest Julys on record and how 2022 ranks so far in just a bit.
So if you're basking in the coolness of the high 90s in recent days, those days are gone, apparently.
Yeah, well, and really, I think it was just last Friday. That was our only sub 100 degree day.
Yes, the one day.
The one day.
Yeah.
We hit 97 on Friday. Then it was back to 100 even on Saturday. And, well, now we're above 100 again. And today we made it up to 101 for the high temperature. And let's take a look at the month so far. Obviously, every day above average and significantly above average as well. The average temperature for the month, that's what we use, the overall average temperature for the month, that's what we use to rank them, is right now at 90 degrees. Okay, so you put that into perspective. If July ended today, it would be the hottest July on record. So far, the hottest July was back in 2009 with an average temperature of 88.7. We're already far above that. Of course, there's a lot of July left, but it does look like we're going to be sailing above average for the next several days, maybe even the next couple of weeks to finish out the month. 100 right now. 100 even, not as hazy outside. You look at our live cam shot. We had the really thick haze yesterday from the African dust. It's been gradually dispersing today, and it's not quite as noticeable out there. And tomorrow, basically negligible. Dew point of 58. It's nice to see that dew point drop during the hottest period of the day, and we're going to see that again tomorrow. But you look all across the state, even up the plains, North Platte, Nebraska, 103 degrees. Guymon, Oklahoma, 101 along with El Paso. Laredo, 104, Del Rio, 104 as well. Some exceptions in the hill country, 97 Fredericksburg, Rock Springs right now at 95. And along the Gulf Coast where you have the really high and thick humidity, well, temperatures there in the 90s because that humid, muggy air doesn't heat up as efficiently as this drier air that we have this afternoon. Stinson 102 along with Pleasanton and Devine. You get the idea. Let's talk about tomorrow morning. Waking up to temperatures in the 70s, 73 Comfort, 75 Canyon Lake, Converse about 77. I think around San Antonio about 77, 78. A lot of what we've been experiencing the past few days. And then we're going to tack on another few degrees tomorrow afternoon, up to 103 we think officially in San Antonio. But you get near Stinson Airport on the south side, probably around 105. Seguin 103, Nixon, Smiley 104 along with Floresville. Poteet, Devine, 105 for the high tomorrow. So as we go forward for the rest of the week, we are expecting record high temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday, the record's 101. Thursday, it's 102. We should be about 103, 104 those days. So some records are likely to fall later on this week. And I didn't put the records on the other days because it doesn't look like we're going to be within a degree of it, at least not yet. Of course, we need some rain. Area reservoir levels. Medina Lake Reservoir, 12% full, 67 feet below the conservation pool. Medina, of course, has a very small watershed and is susceptible to big swings up and down. But we need the rain. Canyon at 91%, that's 4 feet below the conservation pool. No showers anywhere across Texas. Actually, just a lot of sunshine with a few high thin clouds here and there, and that's about it. The activity is far to the west and, of course, east of us. You see this dip in the upper level flow in the eastern U.S. We need that. We need that dip, not the bump in the upper level flow, this dip. And that's the trough that really stirs things up, and they're getting the moisture and even some severe storms with it, but at least they're getting some rainfall. Upper level high still a little too close to us, but we do have this northerly flow aloft, so if we could have something develop, say up the plains, there'd be the potential for it to move our way. It's just we don't anticipate anything to develop, and our conditions here aren't going to be favorable for making rain. Even if we had a little bit of energy, we would need a lot more moisture and instability to get things going. 78 tomorrow morning. KSAT 12-hour forecast shows by noon we'll be at 93 degrees, a south wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So a bit of a breeze at least tomorrow, then 103 by 4 and 5 p.m. And I don't think the heat index is going to be all that much higher than the air temperature during the hottest part of the day. Cotulla, 108 tomorrow. Eagle Pass up to about 106. Helotes 101, Stone Oak 102. You get the idea. And this trend continues all the way through the weekend. By Thursday, we should be in third place. 22 should be in third place for the number of 100-degree days in a year. Ouch.
Yikes. At least there's a breeze.
We have that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's something.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Here's today's In Case You Missed It.
It is Monday, July 18th.
We're going to begin, though, with a breaking news alert involving the Uvalde school shooting. First at 5, the Department of Public Safety, DPS, announcing it will conduct an internal review of the actions of dozens of troopers who responded to the Robb Elementary shooting.
91 state troopers were identified at the scene on May 24th, more than all the Uvalde officers combined. As of now, though, no troopers have been suspended. DPS did not give a time frame as to when that review would be complete.
A family safe on the city's west side this noon after escaping their house from a fire. Firefighters say it appears the fire may have started outside of the home in some trash cans. They say it also looked like the flames extended up the wall from the trash can and made their way into the attic and the second floor of the home. The fire did damage a nearby home. We're told no one was hurt, though.
False reports of an active shooter on the Las Vegas Strip had people running for their lives. Las Vegas police say that someone threw a rock at a glass door at MGM Grand Hotel on Saturday night. The sound of that shattering glass caused people to think that they were shots being fired. That person who broke the glass at the MGM was taken into custody. Charges of gross misdemeanor and destruction of property.
2 shelter dogs are now hitched hounds. The couple got married in hopes to find a forever home. The stars of the show were pit bulls Fran and Earl. The 2 pits exchanged vows, collars, and then made it official with the paw prints on the marriage certificate. Their wedding, a chance to get noticed and adopt as a pair of dogs.
Rising humidity tonight, tomorrow morning, very sticky. But the good news is during the hottest part of the day, we'll see that dew point drop off a little bit. So really not all that humid when the temperatures reach into the triple digits again. 103 is what we're expecting tomorrow. The record high is 106, but Wednesday and Thursday, record highs likely.
Thanks, Adam, and thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you on the Nightbeat at 10.